Welcome to Season 2 of Quid Pro Roll.
Five years ago, in the wake of what became known as the Dragon's War, the impenetrable mist that surrounded the nations of the Boris Empire, Ochomanca, Alaria, and Talair finally dissipated after centuries of hiding the world away. At long last, both sides of the misted sea could set sail and explore one another, opening the door to new trades, new adventures, and new conflicts. The new world has yet to grow from its infancy and find its place in the greater scheme of things. And that is where we begin. You find yourselves in the small port town of Marcia, a town in the new nation of Myhone, during a festival called the Festival of Stars, a celebration of both the unerring aid of the stars in the navigation of sailors and travelers, and for their role in determining the destinies of mortals. The festival is coming to life at the very beginning of the evening. There are beautiful lit lanterns, colorful stalls draped in fabric that are selling snacks and goods. There are performers setting up. There appears to be quite a few things going on. And we are going to start our adventure. Let's go ahead with you, Brave. Who are you? What do you look like? What are you doing? What is your blood type and your social security number?
That's so deep, you know? Like, oh man, you really want to get to know me. Wow. So character intro?
Yes, that is what I'm trying to set you up for, yes.
Okay.
Do a personal intro with the character intro.
Hey everybody, I'm Brave, or Luke, as is my real human name. Tonight I'm going to be playing Aska Volkart, a young man of elven blood, tall and lanky, like a bean sprout. His eyes have that sort of twinkling silver light to it, like a stream cackling under the moonlight. His skin ruddy like clay. His nose long, aquiline. A schnoz to end all schnozzes. He holds himself languidly, softly, as if he's ready for anything, relaxed, letting the world and fate itself flow over him. His outfit, equally so. Soft yellows and greens speak of a man who's close to nature and the world at large.
I am realizing it was a mistake to start with Luke, because that was the most weirdly sensual way I've heard anyone describe a character, like a beanpole, in my life. There was an intensity to that I was not prepared for.
You know me. You know what I was going to do.
You know what? More the fool
Yeah,
I.
that's on you.
So, Aska, what are you doing at this fun festival event?
I am eating food. Like, that is the key thing. Aska is going from stall to stall. He's trying everything in sight. He has had nothing but like curry and grilled squid for the past 4 years, and he is in. He is sold.
An immense amount of what you're going to find are actually going to be sweet stalls, which is going to be very different from what you've experienced. There's going to be one that sells some form of like hot cinnamon frosting that you eat with these thin cookies.
Okay.
Yes, I did describe fantasy Dunkaroos.
Okay.
That is... I want everybody to know that I literally had the word Dunkaroos mouthed at me with the widest eyes you've ever seen.
Pre-recipe change.
Pre-recipe change, yes. There's one that is selling these warm, hard candies that have this caramel cream taste to them. It's some kind of cross of maple and caramel. There's going to be one that sells these thin crepe-like hotcakes that are stuffed with sweet potato, brown sugar, and butter.
I think Asuka is like all in on the maple and caramel. That is such a unique flavor to him. And it's definitely like he's got it between his fingers, like his gloves are all sticky now, but he's having a great time just cramming it away in his mouth.
He's going to have the, like, grossest gloves imaginable. Like, they're going to be covered in cat hair and dirt.
100%.
All right. So, moving to another part of the festival is another figure. We shall go to you, Vera.
Okay. Hey, what's up? I'm Jenna. You may know me from other things and also here sometimes. I'm going to be playing Vera, who is this somewhat tallish, lithe figure. She's dressed in this purple patterned, beautifully, intricately patterned coat. She's walking around. She seems to be sort of stiffly gazing at fabrics and things, but she has, everything is perfectly coiffed about her. But at the same time, you can tell that there is just this buzzing, bubbling, burning energy that is barely under the surface, waiting to get out. And she has this delicately pale skin with these freckles all over, and this bright purple and teal hair that's pulled up into these two perfectly messy buns. And these delicate silver frames nestled right on the center of her nose as she walks and checks out these stalls.
And these frames have lenses in them. We're not doing like a Daniel Radcliffe and Harry Potter sort of dealio.
Yeah, no, she needs glasses. She does need those.
What are you doing?
She's going to walk up to a couple of these stalls and sort of try and find the most beautiful fabric here that would kind of capture the essence of what's going on this night.
That makes a great deal of sense. Myhone is known for a lot of really beautiful printed fabrics, and there are going to be a couple of stalls that are going to have big bolts of them. Some are going to be this like soft, warm orange that reminds you of the glow of the lanterns. Some of them are going to be really dark, but have splashes of color that make you think about the stars and the constellations that everybody is viewing. Some of them are going to be more traditional, just Myhonian colors, like combinations of oranges, reds, greens, yellows. All of them kind of speak to something or another, but none of them seem to capture all of the experience.
Yeah, then I think that she's going to pick up one of the darker ones that has all the splashes of color, and then pick up one of the brighter orange ones, and see how they look together and try and see if she can make this feeling that she's feeling tonight.
You're going to be looking and measuring and seeing about all of the fabrics when you're going to notice two things near you. One is going to be a person standing not far from you, wearing a black cape with the hood drawn up over his head. He's going to be kind of like doing this side-eye thing with you. You can tell he's looking, but you can't tell if it's at you or someone near you. But he seems to be looking without trying to look like he's looking. And the other is this little old lady who's draped in a shawl, who seems to be the proprietor of this stall, who's talking to several people. And before she comes up to Vera, Josh, let's go ahead and introduce yet another sketchy cloaked figure under your control.
Hey, you make it sound like all I do is play sketchy cloaked figures.
What's your Blue Sky handle?
Black Cloak DM.
What's your Discord name?
Soul Lovenar Proudkiss at the moment.
What is it normally?
Oh, that's also Black Cloak DM.
And how have you introduced yourselves at panels after your name?
I made my handle Black Cloak DM because I like wearing black cloaks.
Yeah, I rest my case, Your Honor.
I played myself.
If the cape fits.
For anyone not immediately familiar with me, I'm Josh. I will be playing the character of Drolzna, who is a 5'4", auburn-haired. He's got his kind of like curly, like not fully curly, but like wavy brown hair behind him and in a ponytail, and then there's kind of like there's locks that are just completely loose from it, hanging around his face, framing it. He's wearing a red kind of tunic and too many belts, way too many belts. He's got a couple of pouches, one at his hip, one on his thigh. He's got 2 swords strapped to his back. The look in his eyes as they are framed in his pale face. Boy does not get nearly enough sunlight to have any kind of tan. Are this like really bright hazel color that almost feels golden. And it sounds like he is side-eyeing Vera. Is that what you're saying?
Is he side-eyeing Vera, or is he side-eyeing the proprietor of the stall?
Ah, excellent. Okay.
Also, you describing it with too many belts, I did not want to kill your momentum, but my immediate response was, yeah, Drolzna just over here stopping by the festival on his way to Kingdom Hearts 4.
Look, he likes to adhere things, okay? You need a lot of belts for adhering a lot of things.
Drolzna's going to be in the Emperor's New Groove level.
I feel like Drolzna and Kronk would probably get along pretty well. I think that'd work out.
All right, with the powerful himbo energy you are bringing, Drolzna, what are you? What are you up to?
Drolzna was watching the proprietor and trying to get a better read of kind of, what's going on in the town square right now. Like, he's heard some inklings of things as stuff was getting prepared, but he's not really that familiar with the region. So he's trying to learn more about, like, standards and practices and what's expected of people as they move their way through this festival and perform various lively activities.
So the woman who's running the stall is going to kind of trot up to you, Vera, and she's going to look up at you with this, like, borderline rictus grin of the shopkeeper customer service smile, and just be like, "Hello, young lady. Is there anything I can help you find, perhaps?"
Yes, you could help me. I am looking for something that both looks like the night sky tonight and feels like sticky toffee candies and kind of creeps up your spine a little.
I want somebody to walk into a fabric store and describe that to a salesperson and just watch them die a little inside as they try to figure out what it is you are wanting.
Challenge accepted.
All right. So since we are, as a change from the original campaign, we are moving to a new system called Fate, which means that things are going to run a weensy bit different mechanically. As we all know, mechanics have always been a cornerstone of importance in this campaign. For those of you new to the show, she said sarcastically. Josh, I want you to see about rolling to recognize something. What skill would that be for you?
That for me is going to be, my best would be notice.
That would be what I think we would go for.
Okay. That's a total 2.
That's good, right?
That's fair.
It's enough that you are going to be able to see the old woman is going to walk over and grab a bolt of fabric, and you're going to see her very deftly tuck one price tag in and pull another price tag out. They both seem to have been attached, but there's one of a higher denomination that she pulls out while she brings it over to Vera. I believe that this might be what you're looking for. It's a bit more on the pricey side, but you can tell it's of fine quality.
Oh, that is lovely. My goodness.
And Vera's going to take it in her hands and feel the fabric between her fingers.
It is going to be of decidedly nice quality. It is a good fabric.
Drolzna sidles up to the booth and kind of does a nod at Vera of, acknowledgement and goes, "That looks like absolutely fabulous fabric. An exceptional choice. Oh, and it does appear to be on sale," he says as he reaches over and pulls loose the other price tag.
The old lady's eyes are gonna go dinner plate wide, and she's gonna be like, yes, it is. It's been, it's discontinued, so they're, clearing it out. We're clearing it out.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. I'll take the whole bolt.
Of course! And she's gonna take the bolt and she's gonna go and start like unwrapping it, folding it, and packaging it up. And you're just going to kind of see this like anime-esque like sadness blue dark cloud over her. I am certain that Drolsna has no small amount of smug.
Drolsna's definitely self-satisfied, but I don't think he's showing it more than like a smirk. And then he nods again to Vera, tips the cowl of his hood just a little bit, and then kind of wanders off to see what else is going on around the carnival fair atmosphere.
As the three of you go about your shopping, your food, and your reconnaissance mission, the festival is going to carry on with the din of the event being cut through by two sharp sounds of a bell. There's going to be a moment of pause as everyone is going to start collecting around this raised platform with four corners and several ropes wrapped around it to keep whatever is going to be on the inside in. You remember that this is a new fad that has been taking on from the other side of the Misted Seas that has been brought over and is known for a lot of noise, theatrical movement, and, that's not the word I was thinking of. What was it in hot dogging? It was something in hot dogging, but the thing that came to mind, showboating and hot dogging, which was very different than the word that immediately came to mind and was not correct. And Scott cut that part out, man. Please,
Where's
thank you.
Gabe when you need him?
Hey.
So you're going to see there are going to be a couple of people in big, loud costumes that are very tight to their body, who step out and begin working the crowd up sort of into a lather. And how are you guys going to react to this?
I mean, Drolsna hasn't heard anything about any of this and is absolutely fascinated. So he's going to do a thing that he does often, which is weave his way very quietly and unobtrusively through the crowd to get as close as possible without shoving anyone out of the way.
Oscar has kind of pulled away from the crowd. He's sort of in a back alley area with a little like fountain, kind of cleaning his mitts, getting the stickiness off when he sees all this happen. And he gets sort of a weird look over his face, wistful almost, as if he's thinking about something. He'll reach down to the fountain, he'll pluck a little silver crown coin, and kind of just say on the wind, "Well, is this why I'm here?" And he will flip the coin and call heads. And I invoke my trouble on the whims of magic.
What does invoking your trouble mean for those of us new to this system?
Invoking your trouble is the same as invoking any of your aspects. Aspects are words or phrases that describe your character, their backstory, or, in this case, the thing that you have to deal with. Asuka's trouble is on the whims of magic. He's allowing fate to tell him where he needs to go.
Look forward, listeners, to the episode where half of Asuka's face gets melted off by acid. As you flip the coin, you're going to see it spin in the air, as you would expect, but there's this moment where it pauses, and this sort of black, starry energy twists around it and then pulls it unnaturally down into your hand. Heads up.
Okay, well, that is a lot more, bold than normal, so I will take that as a yes. All right, I'll flick the coin back into the fountain, and I will... hold my hat to my head as I sort of skedaddle, power walking style into the crowd.
Hold on to your hats, everyone! And Asuka took it very literally. And Vera?
You just hear this, from the back of the crowd. And then, excuse me, pardon me, pardon me. I've heard so much about this. Oh my God. And then she's gently elbowing people out of the way, trying not to knock children over. But if you're a stout man, you're getting a bow.
I can't get over getting a bow. That just, for some reason, that got me really bad. So, the three of you are going to convalesce to this area when...
Coalesce.
What did I say?
Convalesce, which means bed rest.
You're going to take a power nap in the middle of this crowd.
Assert dominance. Take a power nap.
You're gonna power nap as a way to really get the crowd going.
T-pose power nap.
Yeah, this isn't usually how crowd surfing goes, but that's what we're doing today.
Okay, no. Pause. I want there to be a concert where you can take a nap and crowd surf in circles like it's a lazy river.
Alex, you want to try to take a nap while 100 strangers touch your back.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I was about to say, now that you describe it that way, it sounds awful. But the general
with a lazy river around it.
Oh, now we're cooking.
See, I feel like if you had a lazy river at a concert, depending on the kind of concert, you'd have a lot of people that would get really hurt.
Or you'd just be... No, you know what? I'm not going to say that because it's really gross.
Yeah, let's not go down that lazy river.
No.
I actually worked at a concert hall that had a river around it. And, y'all, it got bad.
How? How is this an experience you have had?
Friggin' the Guadalupe River in Texas. Yeah, it's awesome. But people drank a lot of beer, maybe too much beer, because there was a comfortable river right there.
All right, we're gonna stop that because it is episode 1, you guys. Let us pause the gross. This is a lot different than I hope you brought your biscuits. And yet there is still another voice, a voice that, much like mine, comes from the dark void, the space between spaces, is technically not a member of the cast, but is also a member of the cast.
Is it me?
That is you.
Oh, it's me. You're letting me talk. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Probably a bad thing, but we'll roll those dice. That is how the game is played.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott. I am the audio producer for Season 2 of QPR. I will be also the voice of the Void, maybe a random NPC here and there, and occasionally I'll be jingling keys when the cast gets off the rails.
A large figure stands up and raises his arms to the sky and calls out to the audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? I said, are you ready? Are you ready for a night of competition? A night of adventure? A night of professional wrestling?
He gestures to one corner where a woman dressed in some tight approximation of a swan costume. Think something a little Swan Lake and something a little Bjork, and you've got kind of an idea of this outfit.
In this corner, from the coastal regions, she is beauty, she is grace, she will kick you in your face. The Salvation Swan!
And then on the other corner,
Her opponent tonight, a foul beast from the slop pens of my home. The disgusting degenerate, the masked swine!
you have a gentleman known as the Masked Swine, who is wearing some kind of pig-themed costume that has a mask that covers his face. You're not sure how he's breathing in it. You're not sure how that smells. But it doesn't seem like it is a good experience for him to have.
This seems very Hannah Montana.
I don't... What
I got
do
Jenna
you
with
think
that
is
one.
that
Yeah.
I must know what you mean by that. Elaborate immediately.
There's like a whole episode. My sister watched a lot of Disney Channel and made me watch a lot of Disney Channel. There's like a whole episode with her.
It is very Disney coded.
Yeah, Scott gets it.
Look, man, I don't know. And people are new to wrestling here, okay? They're trying stuff on.
You often see wild gimmicks in local scenes.
Yes, thank you. And this is a very local scene. The bell is going to ring twice before the two combatants begin to... You all can tell from your various experiences that this is a very staged fight. Every punch is telegraphed 7 years before it hits. Every kick, every jump, every tackle, everything is happening more choreographed than you've seen a fight ever be. And you've been to a lot of, like, fairs and events that have had, like, sword fight demonstrations. But there's a moment where you can see the woman dressed as in the swan costume, something in her snaps for a moment. And you're not sure what it is, but she does end up lifting her opponent over her head and throwing him into the collective audience, knocking over several people, and Drolsna coming right at you.
All right, so I got a good for basically keeping this dude from making Drolsna stumble back. Like, Drolsna basically absorbing the impact of this dude with, like, bracing and catching some of the weight and not, like, shifting hard.
So he's hitting Drolsna like a wall?
I mean, kind of, sort of. Like, she's throwing him out over onto the crowd, and Drolsna's pretty close. So if this dude is flying right at Drolsna, I think this ends up being more of a crowd surfing situation.
I mean, he's gonna hit the dirt with a oof.
What? I still got a good, though.
You did get a good.
So Drolsna helps, like, shift some of that weight so that the dude doesn't go straight to the dirt.
Despite the fact that Drolsna has done a good job at keeping this man from getting concussed, he does seem to be a little bit on the dazed side. The announcer runs forward and shouting to the crowd,
My God, the swine has been splattered across the ground, and our winner tonight is the Salvation Swan! What's that? Ladies and gentlemen, the swan says she is not satisfied. She demands another challenge. Is there anyone here brave enough to step into the squared circle to challenge her?
Yeah, is it a geometry joke?
Are you asking this aloud to the announcer?
Yeah.
He kind of turns and looks at you.
I see we have a challenger. You there with the odd hat.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
The audience is
Please
going
no.
to, like, kind of push you forward excitedly, and, like, you're going to get kind of pushed up like you are being crowd surfed against your will up onto the platform.
Oh, I hate this. Please don't touch my butt.
Folks, the swan informs me that the string bean is just not enough, and she wants more. Surely we have some strapping young men out here tonight willing to join the fray.
Drolsna is, like, Drolsna was only delayed by the fact that he felt like he should take his shirt off for this. And so he's like top off. He has it nicely folded in a like very neat pile, and he puts it on the side of the ring and then clambers in himself.
What's that? One more. Ladies and gentlemen, the Swan says she wants to make this match a fatal 4-way. We need one more challenger.
I think Vera has like a little kernel of a seed stuck in her throat and she goes,
You there, miss, in the purple. The Swan says you're perfect to balance out this sausage fest. Come on down.
Me?
The same way that everybody sort of pushed Asuka forward, Vera is also going to get like pushed forward and up onto the platform.
Are you sure that you want me up here?
The Swan says she likes the fire in your eyes.
Okay.
and Vera's going to take off her jacket and fold it neatly and lay it over the side.
I like how Dralsna and Vera both like, we got to take care of our clothes. And Asuka's like, whatever happens, happens.
Asuka's put down his staff, and that's it. He still has his backpack on, like...
He still has his backpack and his
He's ready
hat.
for school, you know. He's got
I
his
imagine
place aside.
Asuka has got a cloud of dust around him.
Very sticky cloud.
Oh no, he is
Yeah.
sticky. So, the four of you are going to stare one another down. Dralsna, Vera, you will recognize one another from the incident at the cloth booth. The fabric booth? Yeah, fabric booth. Cloth booth is a lot weirder to say. And Asuka, you will see for but a small moment a soft, circular gust of wind circle around each of them at the same time. What feels like just a gentle breeze to the two of them, to you, seems almost like a windy bottom-up spotlight.
For the two of you, well, the two of you are sort of like looking at each other like, oh, I know you, yeah. I think in that moment, the two of you miss it, but the camera kind of pans over to Asuka's face, and there's a look of recognition.
Cutting through that moment, you hear the ding-ding. The battle has begun. The swan-clad woman is going to begin with a, like, just barbaric battle cry, is going to start sprinting into the center of the ring, seemingly targeting Vera.
The second this woman gets to Vera, she deftly ducks to the side, doing the anime side stance with one hand behind her back. And as she runs past her, she just whips out her hand and grabs this woman's wrist. And using that full sort of momentum from just the very end of her run, she whips her backwards to the other side of the ring.
She's going to sail across the ring in a full, like, over-the-top, dramatic, not quite fall, but throw. Dralsna, Asuka, what are you two doing?
Are we...
Are you just letting them duke it out and you're just both kind of sitting there with your hands on your hips like, oh, look at that. Isn't that something?
No. No, we haven't gotten to our turns yet.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ref like, are we all supposed to fight? Is it three on one? I don't know the rules. I'm new.
You're all supposed to fight each other, and he kind of slams his hands together in the kind of approximation that a child would do if he's slamming his action figures together.
That doesn't seem very sportsmanlike.
It is the ultimate sportsmanlike.
Just slamming your sweaty bodies together? I'm sorry, I guess I don't appreciate the art.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Trulsa, my back is to you.
Think, so the thing is that Dralsna's like 5'4". Like, he's not a big dude. And so this professional wrestler, the Swan, like, she's built and she's a large woman. So you see Dralsna kind of circling around towards her. She's off balance. She hits the rope very dramatically and then goes to spring out of it, still focused on Vera, I think, when Dralsna's arm comes out and catches her right in the throat which causes her to do a full, essentially physical 180, where her head goes back, her feet go up, she lands on the upper part of her back with a massive impact. That was easier than I expected. Who else wants some?
The crowd roars.
Drolsna throws his hands in the air and, just quickly, poses for the crowd before turning back to his opponents.
Oscar is sitting on the ground, cross-legged. He's pulled out a piece of charcoal, and he's doing math.
What do you mean doing that?
He's just having a little brainstorming sesh. He's like, okay, so if I lead them over there, and then twist them that way, I will need this angle of throw. And he's just doing math to figure out the optimal way.
He is a theoretical physicalist.
Yeah.
Right, you can't spell physical contest without physics.
All right. So while Dexter over here is doing some math, what are you doing, Vera?
Vera, seeing Asuka just sitting there, is going to redirect her attention to the only other person standing in the ring other than the ref, and is going to run in sort of an arc around, and is going to try and do like a 1-2 step on one of the four corners, the closest corner to Drolsna, and is going to leap and land on his shoulders. And she's going to look at him and she's going to say, "Just go with this." And she's going to do a backflip while she's like sitting on his shoulders, like his face is in her stomach kind of thing. And she's going to do a backflip. She's Frankensteinering him.
It's called a Hurricane Rana.
It's a Frankensteiner. Get out.
Hurricane Ramirez is the best.
I know a character that does this in Soul Calibur. I know this move.
That's a +3 for athletics.
I get a +3 for athletics. Drolsna is willing to play along somewhat. He is not willing to get completely laid out on the mat. And so Vera lands and Drolsna's like, how do I turn this to my advantage? And then as she goes to backflip, he kind of leans forward with it so that the two of them both land on their backs on the ground, or on the mat rather.
Owie.
Asuka?
Oscar rolled a +4 for lore to create an advantage. I will leave that to Alex to tell me how many positive shifts that gives me.
And you want to explain what that means?
What that means is that I have used Fate's rules to create an advantage. It's one of the moves that you can do. It is kind of like in Dungeons and Dragons when you give somebody the help action. You know, it's advantage, but there's a little more bells and whistles to it. In Fate, you're really trying to stack advantages and aspects and stuff to help you win contests. With Drolsna and Vera on the ground like that, Asuka is going to kind of turn on his heel, drop his backpack, and he's going to run like full force, his head and body sort of like tilted at a like 100-degree angle, give or take, into the ropes until it's like stretched out Scooby-Doo style, and it's going to launch him ass first over the mat, slamming straight down into the two downed opponents.
I'm sorry, you Princess Peached them?
Yes.
It's like the move from Super Smash Brothers?
Yes.
I just realized that Princess Peach doing the butt attack is oddly relevant.
Yes.
I don't know if they intended that. So you're going to toadstool slam your two opponents after this Scooby-Doo looking move.
And and I'm going to use Wizard's First Rule. It is one of my stunts. It's like an ability in D&D. And this one lets me use lore in place of another skill during a challenge. This would be a challenge, allowing me to use lore twice in the same challenge. So I'm using the math that I just learned, and I'm applying it.
You sitting and doing math before this is actually going to be helpful. I'm kind of mad about this. We don't want people to think that math will help you in any circumstance. What's math ever done for anybody?
So in total, after creating an advantage and rolling, that is legendary.
You have done a legendary butt slam?
It's always something stupid. The curse pertains. It's always on the rolls that don't matter.
You have done a butt slam that they will speak about through the ages. It will go back to Ilaria, to Talair, to Oceanvar, the news of this powerful butt slam.
Yes.
You dropped it so low that the earth felt it.
Do you want to describe that, Alex? No, Alex, this is your scene. You're at the WrestleMania.
How am I to describe you Final Fantasy VII meteored them with your butt?
All right, here's what I want to know. I understand there's a legendary butt slam coming my way.
Yes.
Surely there's something I can do about that, right? Right?
Kiss your own butt goodbye.
So, this is us doing combat. You guys can roll fight or whatever else you think would work in this instance. However, you would lose a positive shift because you were both laid out on your backs.
Yeah, I think as Drolsna sees, I don't think Asuka's going to notice this. And given that he's laying down, I don't think the audience is really going to notice this either. But I think Vera will notice that as Asuka is hurtling through the air toward them, Drolsna's hand hits the mat and the muscles in his arm engorge for a moment in an unnatural kind of way. He's currently well fed. So I'm going to invoke his stunt Stronger and Faster, which gives him a positive shift to athletics, negating the minus.
No, it was so cool. No.
Oh god, no, that's still not very good. That's so he puts, I think, because he only gets an average on that.
You can burn a fate point. You can burn a fate point. Give yourself a +2.
Oh, I could. You're right. I could burn a fate point. No. You know what? It's way funnier if his arm unnaturally engorges. He pushes off the mat and he overcorrects, and instead pushes himself up and into Asuka's impending ass bomb.
Vera has just completely bought in to this whole wrestling performance. So she is braced for it and expecting it and is ready for it to hit and is not expecting it to be as bad as it's going to be.
So with the impact of this Sephiroth meteoric butt slam that the two of you are about to experience...
And it's a double hit because Drolsna pushes himself up and then collides with Asuka mid-air, and then both of them together fall back down and collapse on top of Vera.
I thought you were going to say it was a double hit because he hit you with both cheeks.
I mean,
that took me a minute. You all are going to just slam into the ground in a way that you can tell has slightly dented this platform.
Oh, God!
It was so bony. Oh, no.
And for a moment, all three of you think that the light is fading from your vision, only to realize that the lanterns are starting to be dimmed around the festival, indicating that it is almost time for the main event. You all three lay there for a moment, catching your breath and reassembling your dignity. And you notice that the crowd is beginning to start moving towards the hills to the north of town.
What did we win?
About to win a whole other degree of ass kicking if you do not get off me right now.
Okay. Sorry. Are you okay? Miss?
I think that there's a hole in my body.
Oh.
At least one. Ooh, the lanterns. We should go. Come on.
And she's going to grab both of their hands and start to pull them up.
Okay.
How
All right.
How are you this energetic after taking an impact like that? I may never breathe the same again.
Because it's beautiful and I can't miss it. Come on.
Oh, at least let me get my shirt. Good gods.
Oh, right.
And she's going to double back for her jacket, too.
Oscar will get a stick.
I need my shirt. I need my jacket. I need a
I
stick.
need my stick.
My special stick.
My special stick.
The three of you are going to reassemble yourselves, again, as you had to reassemble your dignity. And you're going to also head to the hills that everyone seems to be heading towards. As you go, you notice the shops are closing up and the lights are not just being dimmed, but many of them are going out. Meaning that it's a teeny bit treacherous making the trek, but the sky is beautiful and vibrant. It's this perfect pitch black darkness and this veil of stars. The apex of the festival is the Starfall, which is the meteor shower that happens at this time every year. As the first star shoots across the sky, gathering gasps of awe and excitement from the audience, many begin to fall after it. And you see that it's not just a simple streak of the nameless white color that starfalls always are, but they're in brilliant shades of purple and blue and green. Each star shooting across the sky is its own aurora until it has filled the sky with colors and movement, and it is absolutely entrancing. As you observe for a moment, there's this feeling in each of you about something important to you. And I want to know what that is for each of you.
For clarity's sake, are we talking about, like, things that would be important for us to be remembering right now? Are we talking about things that would be important for like, our futures?
Generally, this part of the festival is meant to think about your destiny and what it brings. So if you want to frame it in that context, that would make a great deal of sense. Or if it's just what your character would think about after seeing something this beautiful and majestic.
I think for Drolsna, he has a brief recollection of camping with his family out in the swamps of Ilveria and looking up at the sky and seeing the beautiful stars twinkling back at them and a couple of shooting stars firing across, and his mother talking about how every shooting star is a representation of a wish coming true.
Vera?
She's going to look up and adjust her glasses on her face and let her hand fall to a locket that's on her neck. And she's just going to have this faint flash of a woman with olive skin and flame red hair. And as all of these bright colors are falling through the sky around her together, she's just going to sit there and think about how utterly alone she feels in this moment.
Now for something completely different. Oh my god. All right. And finally, Asuka.
He's remembering his youth. He's remembering growing up in that tiny little village in Vinvalik. And I think he's specifically remembering those nights where he was alone. Those nights when he became an adult, when he became a man, and moved into his own home out there in the woods beyond the village edge. And how in the darkness, there was nobody there to really, help. Each night as he woke with stranger and stranger dreams. And I think in this moment, he's filled with a trepidation. Part of him knows, without knowing, those nights are coming to an end, and maybe not for the better. But he's looking at the two people next to him and smiling.
As you all sit in your thoughts and in this moment, watching the stars streak across the sky, getting ever more prevalent as they just fill the sky, as everything begins to reach this beautiful celestial climax, the ground begins to shake. Not a gentle tremor, not a small earthquake, but something that rocks you and does not end. You begin to hear cries as huge stone spikes shoot up from the ground, spearing through stalls and buildings, and you're hoping, not people, but the sounds of panic and bedlam don't give you a lot of confidence in that. You can see enormous chunks of earth rise and fall, smashing to the ground. There is just chaos and screaming all around you as everybody just scrambles to get away from this chaos. The spikes just decimate this space. And as the three of you stand, fortunately safe from the momentary chaos, you hear this deep, ancient, mournful cry. Something that pulls at something primal and deep within each of you. And something that makes you feel a despair that you have not ever experienced. You look to the horizon and you see a strange spectral form. Enormous. The size of a mountain range, all in itself, is this absolutely colossal beast. You can only see the outline of its enormous body, seeing some kind of shell and carapace and spikes, some kind of horn, and you see its mouth split open wider than you think it should be able to. And again, hear that cry. As you feel just this overwhelming feeling of fear and despair, the creature turns to look at the three of you, and you can know in your heart that the glowing eyes it turns to you see you specifically, before the creature fades. Everything goes black for a moment, and you come to in a bit of a daze. As you look around and you see the chaos, you can tell no one saw what you saw, except the other two standing next to you.
Quid Pro Roll is an independent narrative play podcast supported by Richmond Comix and listeners like you. Our audio editing and sound design is provided by Scott Moore. Our soundtrack design is by Scott Moore and Gabriel Perez. Our GM and world builder is Alex Smith. Asuka is played by Luke Davis. Vera is played by Jenna Garrett. Drolsna is played by me, Josh Maltby. Links to our cast and crew's socials, as well as our Patreon page, can be found in our show notes. Thank you for listening to the end, and go out there and bring the action.
Hey rollers, it's Alex here. This episode and the beginning of this campaign is dedicated to Greg Hazard. He was a member of our community who made a huge impact on a lot of us and was a very good friend, especially to me. He was so encouraging and great with all of the prep work and stuff that went into the campaign, and he was so excited to be able to hear it and be a part of the journey with everyone. So even if he never got to listen to it, I am excited for him to still be a part of it all in some way. So this episode and the beginning of the campaign is dedicated to him. Miss you, buddy.